Hi, James on the Go series. We want to continue our discussion about illegal immigration from our southern border and what happens after these immigrants cross into the U.S. Prior to crossing, many illegals are told to drop all identification before entering into the U.S. There are a host of non-governmental organizations, called NGOs, welcoming illegal migrants once they are on U.S. soil. Some NGOs are good. Those that are not good seemingly help to feed into nefarious trades, like human trafficking, the illegal organ market, and others. We know the illegal migrants are being processed purely to be put on buses to who knows where. Then they are shipped off into zip codes that are probably close to you. Perhaps they are in your own zip code. Many of us have heard reports of unattended minors being left in the desert or pushed over the wall. There are reports of parents being murdered before their children cross and children being given to guardians who have no family ties. We've heard of illegals being raped and robbed. The impacts to legal U.S. residents are worrisome. We've seen an increase over the last 4 years in neighborhood crimes and break-ins. The drugs coming across the border, like fentanyl, have increased. It's finally being recognized that child, human, and sex trafficking are coming across the border unchecked. The victims and their families become an afterthought in a 15-minute news cycle. No vetting brings in those who do not have the best motives in mind. The very fact that these migrants are not vetted labels them as illegal because they're not following the law. So the doors to the southern U.S. are wide open. No border exists. Therefore, we don't have a sovereign nation any longer. From an economic standpoint, our hard-earned money is being used to fund these migrants who may not like the U.S. Housing and motels are being consumed by the flood of illegal migrants. Secured government funds for housing and motels to shelter these immigrants offer a more lucrative option for landlords and business owners to comply and offer shelter. As a result, there is less housing and shelter for those here legally. This situation can lead to more evictions and potential homelessness for our legal residents and U.S. citizens. Stores, especially in sanctuary areas, like the state of California, must now place some items under lock and key due to rising crime partially fueled by the flow of undocumented illegal immigrants. These costs are passed to consumers and makes it harder for those here legally to afford things because our cost of living has increased. Because of the defund the police movement, local law enforcement and sheriff are understaffed. That leaves every citizen without a level of a protection they probably had prior to this administration. It takes about 45 minutes to respond to an emergency call in Los Angeles, if not longer. So having no borders and no law enforcement makes this a breeding ground of criminality. For these reasons, unconditional asylum is not sustainable. There's a price to our state and nation. An open border without law makes it hard to discern hospitality and mercy from invasion. Consider this description from a man named Ezekiel that describes the border situation. You will say, I will invade a land of unwalled villages. I will attack a peaceful and unsuspecting people, all of them living without walls and without gates and bars.